That's a wide body beat. That's a wide body beat. That's a wide body beat.
Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Carolina's Armchair GM. I am your host, CJ. All I got to say is this. What in the hell was that, y'all? What as I like to say, what in the blue hell was that? I mean, the Panthers finally get back in prime time against the 49ers, albeit out on the West Coast, in a away game. But and like the thumbnail says, it just this is just a bipolar team. I mean, it is hard. It's hard to be a Panthers fan right now because you literally don't know who you're going to see come out there and play week to week. And it's wild. It is crazy. It's frustrating. But yeah, man. I mean, just we see the performance that we had against the Falcons. You see the play calling. You see the execution. The defense had a rough first half. The offense had a okay first half. They come out, the defense played a great second half. Offense played a great second half. And then we come out here the next week on primetime in front of everybody and wet the bed. I mean, like literally wet the bed. I don't understand it, y'all. I don't get it. Some people will say growing pains. Um, I don't know. I was talking on Panthers Journey podcast earlier. Shout out to Wiley. And it's talking about I heard a lot of people saying we're building for next year in the comments on X and Facebook and everywhere. It's okay, we're building for next year. Yeah, I get that we're building for next year, but I don't think it's okay some of the ways that we are losing games right now. You know what I mean? Because I do in fact believe we are building for next year. I think that we have probably exceeded a lot of people's expectations, so far record wise. Okay, record wise. A lot of things that are probably, people thought were going to happen have happened. You know what I mean? But record wise, I think we've exceeded, a lot of expectations. But still, I still think there are lessons to be learned lessons, that the Panthers are missing out on because of how they're going out there, how they're executing, how they're playing on the field. Okay, like a win last night, could have. And the thing is, and you want to focus on now. I know it. Nobody's out there thinking about next year. Okay, not the coaches, not the players, not anybody. They're not out there thinking about next year. They're thinking about right here, right now, this 2025 season. Okay, but in hindsight, if the Panthers go out there and perform, consistently like we've seen in some of these games, you can look back on this year, next season, and say, "Oh, we did this. Oh, we did that." Now, hopefully, they can look back next year and learn from some of this stuff. But in the moment right now, this shit is crazy. This is wild, 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 wild. All right. But first off, let me tell everybody who is joining me, welcome. All right, no matter what platform you're watching on, whether you're watching on X, YouTube, or Facebook, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that follow button. I appreciate all the love and support. Still on my way to my goal of 2,000 subscribers, and I thank everybody for the support. Okay, and speaking of support, all right, thank you to all the members of the front office, all the armchair GMs. I appreciate all the love and support, and like I always say, whether you were gifted a membership, whether you re-up every month, I greatly appreciate the support. 99 cents and the $10 goes a long way to helping me do the things that I want to do on this channel and present the stuff that I want to present to y'all, my viewers. All right. And I appreciate you. Okay. Let's get into some comments. And I know I say this a lot, but let me tell you, I'm not gonna hold y'all long tonight, man. I really am. We're gonna get through and talk about this stuff, and then I'm going to let me tell you, either I'm going to go print something back here, jump on Farming Simulator or Netflix or something. That's how I feel right now. It's just like, bruh, it's crazy getting up here and talking about this mess we have to deal with. Okay, let me see here. Mr. Hunky Dory, what's going on? So at least we got 5 more games, and I will say one thing. We were we were the better team last night. No way we should have lost to the Jets of the West Coast. Okay. All right, pump your brakes, Mr. Hunky Dory. I'm not gonna come out of my mouth and call the 49ers the Jets of the West Coast, but that is funny. Um, you know what? I do think we were the better team by what we showed last week, and what I thought would be the momentum going into this game from last week. But we did not go out there and play like the better team. You know what I mean? And against the 49ers defense that is missing Joey Bosa, missing Fred Warner, and I think a few more people on the in their secondary. You know, I'm not saying we should have went out there and straight up dominated them, but it's wild. How do you go from putting up 450 passing yards on the league's number one defense, the number one ranked defense, okay, to Bryce had 169 yards last night. I think we had like a little over 200 something total. You know what I mean? Like, how do you go from that to that, and how everything looked last night just baffles baffles the hell out of me. And that's the frustrating part. But we'll get into that in a minute. Let me see. Earl Lockley, what's going on with you? How you doing, good buddy? Let me see. 0028 Tyrone said, keep pounding. What's going on with you, man? How you doing? Kenny, what's going on, man? He said the music is fire. Hey, and shout out to Mr. Wild Body Productions for that beat, man. I appreciate it. He gave me that beat a while ago, and it's just stuck, man. It's just stuck. I love it for the intro. Tyrone says the 49er game was rigged and scripted for us to lose. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a big conspiracy person, but it felt that way at times. It did feel that way at times. I honestly don't think that's the way it is, but I can't sit here and say I wasn't kind of scratching my head and like, we get called for all these penalties and the 49ers are doing the same things and not getting called for hardly any. I thought they didn't have a single penalty called against them last night. Well, that was the case. I think I quit watching after Bryce threw that last interception. I'm not gonna lie. I laid down in bed. I started watching something else. By that point I was done. But it looks like they did end up with 2 penalties, but we'll get into that in a minute. It says shit show, basically. Bipolar Bryce. Hey, Bipolar Bryce, Bipolar Dave Canales, Bipolar. Hell, I would say this: you call the offensive line bipolar. You can call Icky bipolar. Let me tell you, Bryce Huff worked Icky all night last night, the whole game. I mean, and mind you, this is the same dude that who was he playing last week? He had a damn good game against James Spears Jr. last week. Had a damn good game against Michael Parsons early in the year. But had one hell of a time against Bryce Huff last night. Alonzo Sampson, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? SC Panthers boy, what's good? Says up CJ, if we ever learn how to be consistent, we'll be okay. I feel bad. You see, okay. So we'll be okay. I feel bad it's taking too much on let the OC be an OC and the head coach be a coach. You know what? I'm glad you said that because I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so you have Dave Canales on the field, on the sidelines, calling plays. All right. You have the offensive coordinator on the sidelines, I guess, helping Dave Canales call plays. Now, mind you, you have a lot of teams that have offensive coordinators up in the coordinator's booth looking down at the field. I wonder if the Panthers have anybody up there, doing that, giving them a different look at what's going on than the coaches see Well, and I mean, and my thing is, I know they can see all of the all 22 film. They have it on the iPads or whatever kind of the Microsoft pads, whatever they got down there. No, I just said Microsoft pads. I'm sorry, but the tablets. My bad. Whatever tablets they have down there, they can go back and look at the film. And look at the all 22. But that just popped up in my mind. I wonder if that helps or hurts the Panthers. I mean, I don't, and I would think that they have somebody up there, but I don't know for sure. But and the thing is, Panthers boy, I don't mind Dave Canales calling the plays. I really don't. But the one thing, we talk about consistency. We talk about consistency from Bryce. We talk about consistency from the team as a whole. We need consistent play calling as well, because what we saw last week is not what we got this week. It was almost like the Saints game all over again. All right, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. Never asked what's going on. Said they shat the bed like they always do in prime time. Man, who you telling? We used to be a prime time team, back when we had a certain Mr. Cameron Jarrell Newton, but that's another story for another day. No consistency whatsoever. Facts. The 49ers game was definitely should have been a win for us. Facts. What's going on, Poppin? You're always building for the next year, so that's the obvious. When people say that, now it's time to perform. Facts, absolute facts, facts. Or else I need Bryce and Dave gone. You know what? We're going to get into that as well. We're going to get into that as well. That particular subject right there. Panther Boy said, Nerve Ash, how you know, cuz when the last time we had a primetime game, I don't remember. Let me see. Oh God, the last primetime game we had before this was Bryce's rookie year. We had a Thursday night game against the Bears, because one of y'all told me this last week when we went live. I'm sorry, not last week, but Saturday. And I think we had a Monday nighter against the Falcons, which which I think we won. Okay, let me look at this real quick because I got Carolina's schedule right here. Okay. And let me pull it up for all right, 2023 season. And oh no, you know what? No, we lost that game. Yeah, because we won against Houston, and no, we might have won that game. Hold on. Can't see exactly what time that game was. I thought we had a okay, well, never mind. Prime time is not it's not the Panthers' strong suit lately. Let's just leave it at that. Nader, what's going on? Said this loss is on Canales. Run the ball only 9 times. First and goal from the 1 yard line, and he goes for a pass. We need good offensive coordinator. Can't believe the call. We'll get into that call here in a minute, man. Appreciate you joining. Kenny said the Panthers might not make the playoffs, but you did, CJ. I know you talk about it later. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah. I think oh, did I lock in a spot to the playoffs? When I say I literally, I knew I won last night, but I literally just went back and looked at the thing about 5 minutes before I went live. But we'll see. It said Grey's Anatomy. I said Canales definitely needs to tighten up. Yes. B. Amos, what's up? This team is so confusing. Absolutely. He needs to give up play calling and focus on head coaching, Popping. Let me tell you, man. If it's one thing I've said about Ejiro Evero, he is stubborn. If it's one thing I know about Dave Canales now, he is stubborn as well. I highly doubt he will give up the play calling. And I will go so far as to say that if he gives up the play calling, it might be an instruction from ownership. You know what I mean? I think that would be the only way he gives up play calling. I don't see it happening. I don't. Supernova Moore, what's going on, man? How you doing? T. Thompson, what's good? Honestly, CJ, I'm only here for you. I don't want to hear nothing about the damn. Hey, well, I appreciate that, T. Thompson. Thank you, man. I greatly appreciate that. Well, I am going to be talking about the Panthers. So if you just want to, put me on mute and doing that, I appreciate the view. Thank you. He said, also, I lost complete trust in Canales and Bryce Young. I can't be mad at you with that, dog. I can't be mad at you at all, man. My trust is going this way. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we don't know what we're going to see on the field week to week. And I think that was the most frustrating part, or one of the more frustrating things about this team this year. Seeing the same about the ref of the last game last night, got suspended for all the bad calls. Oh, okay. Got you. Icky had a PFF of 39.2. Say it again. 39.2 damn percent. I heard that earlier. Yes. He said, I got you. Sir Purr is looking down from the box. Sir Purr is up there in the box. Yo. Oh, guys, to keep pounding. Monday Night Football 2023 loss versus Saints. All right, thank you, dear. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. So how much for a custom made chain, CJ? Not like Blue Swans one though. Hey, I tell you what. If you're on Twitter, send me a private message and I'll get with you and we'll discuss that. Or you can send me an email at thearmchairgmcj@gmail.com. Okay, and we'll go ahead and discuss that. But I appreciate your interest though. Let me see. He's just like, yeah, man, this is wild. So stubborn to the detriment of the team, or the determinant of the team. Yes. Tepper needs to harass Canales about the play calling. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. We always talking about we want Tepper to be an owner who sits back and let the coaches coach. Yeah, man. I mean, it probably ain't gonna happen, but would I be mad at them having a conversation about it? No. Said, can you put the email in the chat, please? Okay, I got you. All right, make sure I spelled it right. Because the older I get, the worse my spelling becomes. Okay, all right, there it is, Panthers boy. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and get into it, everybody. Okay, now as you can see, Panthers lost 20-9 last night. All right, and as far as the game leaders, Bryce Young was 18 for 29, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Brock Purdy was 23 of 32, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, y'all. 3 interceptions in the first half. Okay, and we're gonna get into that in a minute as well. Rico Dow led the way for us in rushing, 6 carries. 6 of them, y'all. 6 effing carries for 38 yards. All right. Christian McCaffrey, 24 carries. Let me tell you, when I say the 49ers came out the gate and said, Carolina, we are going to feature Christian McCaffrey. I don't care if he gets a half a yard. I don't care if he gets knocked back for a loss of 3, which the Panthers defense did a good job at times stopping Christian McCaffrey. And he lost yards. There were a couple times when he lost yards on consecutive plays. But they featured Christian McCaffrey no matter what. Okay, receiving yards. Rico led us in receiving yards. 4 carries for 36 yards. 4 receptions, 36 yards. George Kittle had 6 for 78 for the 49ers. Colin Farrell had 1 sack for them. Let me see. Barnes had 10 tackles for us, 3 solo. And Mustafa for the 49ers had 7 solo tackles and 7 total tackles. All right. Total yards, 230 for the Panthers, 340 for the 49ers. Turnovers. We won the turnover battle. Okay. Technically. We won the turnover battle. All right. We had 2 that had 3. First downs. 49ers had 23. We had 12. All right. Penalties. They had 2 penalties for 6 yards. We had 4 for 30. All right. Third down. This is a big one. They were 7 of 13. We were 1 for stinking 7. 1 for damn 7. Okay. And the one knock I would have on the defense for last night is I still cannot stand the parking lot defense that Evero likes to play. I sat right there and saw Juwan Jennings on 1 third down. It was like 3rd down and 4 or 5. And our cornerbacks are literally 7-8 yards off the line of scrimmage. And when the ball is snapped, they're bailing. And by the time the ball is thrown, he's got the ball. He has the first down, and the cornerbacks are, and this was after J.C. Horn got hurt. The cornerbacks are playing catch up and cannot get there on time to prevent the first down. Okay, so if it's one knock I had, only knock I had on defense last night, I still hate that parking lot defense by Evero. But you know, I digress. I'm not going to talk no trash about the defense today. Fourth down, they were 2 of 2. We didn't even try. Okay, did not even try. There were a few times where I really felt like we should have went for it on fourth down, but we didn't. Red zone, we were 0 of 2. They were 2 of 3. Time of possession, this is another big one. They held the ball 15 minutes more than the Panthers. 37 minutes and 42 seconds, 22 minutes and 18 seconds. That right there is inexcusable. All the way inexcusable by the Carolina Panthers. Okay. So yeah, just pitiful, man. Just pitiful. Let me see. That CMC fumble reminded me of Cam not diving on the fumble in Super Bowl 50. Yo, I was hollering and screaming. I'm like, yo, jump on the ball, get the ball. Luckily, I think it was the next play, the next two plays, you know, JC had another interception, but still, you know, couldn't take advantage of it. Nader said for next season, we need to get Miami head coach for offensive coordinator. He is going to lose his head coach job soon. Oh, Mike McDaniel. Interesting. But I do not think that that will be the case. I don't think again. Said, can you play Dave Canal's press conference from today? Yeah, hold on. Let me cue it up real quick. I can. All right, because it's fun. It's crazy because I was looking at that not too long before I went live. All right, give me a hot second here. Okay. The screen. Oh, hold on a second. I gotta pull this up on my tab right. Give me 1 second, everybody. 1 second. And I went to the wrong thing. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Share screen. Dave Canales. All right.
Address the game again, you know, mention it afterwards, a game of missed opportunities, and the defense played great, had 3 interceptions, played the run game pretty well, had a couple popped out on us, but for the most part, you know, somewhere in the 3.8 average in the run game, and played a solid day, played physical throughout, you know, offensively, just could not get our rhythm going, and really it just started off with the run game. I have to make sure that that comes alive. That's a part of who we are. It's a part of what we believe in. And we have 2 great backs that contribute to this team. The offensive line was blocking well, and that was a missed opportunity by me, and I'll do better in that regard. But in general, you know, as we had some opportunities to make this game, you know, a lot closer, even as we were battling ourselves back into it.
We'll start things with Joe Person, followed by David Newton.
Hey, Dave, obviously the league acted on Trayvon. Do you know whether he is going to appeal that?
I'm not sure. That's up to Trey and his whole group as they discuss this. So, but he and I had a good conversation. Obviously, I'll keep all those things private between Trey and I. But they'll make any decisions going forward.
And then, what are the updates on all your injured guys? But I guess specifically on the 2 in protocol, JC and Claude.
Yep, just in concussion protocol right now. We'll take that day to day. And then the one I will share with is Corey Thornton suffered a fractured tibia, I believe, fibula, and it's going to require surgery, and he'll be out for the season.
Bruh, and I'm gonna take I got a slide about that here, but bruh, Corey, let me tell you, the thing that irks me the most about this, Especially, me and Tony, we've been wanting to see more of Corey Thornton all year long after what he did in his preseason snaps. And it was like last week he got some burn in the Atlanta game, looked good. And then this happens to him this week. And it's just all that hurts. It hurts my soul. I feel so bad for the dude. I feel so bad for him. But we'll play a little bit more of this. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. We'll play a little bit more of it, and then we'll get on with the slides.
And Dave, did I see Trayvon leaving in a boot last night also?
He's got something going on with his ankle. He's being evaluated as well, and he'll be day to day. We'll give you the full report of it on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Hey, Dave, can you expand on what you saw in the video regarding Trayvon and what you're...
The way Chris played physical.
You're a spot on the 53 with the Rams coming in?
That's certainly part of our discussion.
And talking about Chris Barnes here, because if he gets one more, I think now they'll have to sign him to the 53-man roster. I think he's met the limit. He has been elevated 3 times. So if he's going to play again, he has to be put on the 53-man roster. That's what they're talking about on this one here.
Right now, love the way Chris played physical.
John Ellis.
Coach, good afternoon. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, man. You have a history a little bit in the NFC West, of course. If you wouldn't mind sharing some thoughts on Coach McVay, his staff. Obviously, you're familiar with some because they're on your staff now. Just take us back a little bit and some of the things to look out for, not just strategy-wise, but just personality-wise.
Yeah, just love the way that they're innovators, the way that he takes the game, the core principles of the game, and then just tries to expand it, and understanding that our role as coaches is to continue to build this game and move it forward. And Sean has been at the forefront of that part, not just from a football standpoint, but operationally too. The plan of the week, how he schedules things with his players, how he speaks to his players, and really has an environment that grows young men and helps them become.
Okay, so right there they have some technical difficulties and they couldn't hear Dave Canales. But yeah, man, and let me tell you, I got to agree with you on this one, T. Thompson. It is, man. It's the same shit every week. It really is. But at the same time, I think we have all got to the point where this is what you're going to get out of Dave Canales, and you're not going to get anything else. This is him. Okay, you're not going to get any emotion. You're not going to get him to say anything that he feels like he should not say. All right. But that was a little bit of the press conference. I ain't gonna play the whole thing. Let's go ahead and get back to this right here. Let me go ahead and catch up on the comments here. Let me see. We could have had Mike Vrabel. We could have had a lot of people, man. You know what I mean? What was Ben Johnson? I think he was on the plane, turned the damn plane around and was like, "Nah, I'm good." Canales conference was a joke. Con artist. Oh Lord. 3 turnovers and only 3 points. We need a QB. Bryce is not getting better. The way this team been playing lets me know that it is scripted. Okay, I got you. Said, look at him. No remorse on his face for screwing over this team. He doesn't care. SC Praise was good with you. He said, what's good, CJ? This is a young team. I'm honestly not surprised we have been inconsistent. However, still definitely frustrating. I'm just, but it's just the way we've been inconsistent. Like we go out, like I said earlier, we go out and we put up those numbers against the number 1 passing defense, and then we go against San Francisco. I think his pass defense is ranked in the 20s. Okay, and then we do this. You know what I mean? And then we want to be a running team first. And then you 9 rushing attempts the entire game. Let me see. I'm sorry, 13. I think 13 total rushing attempts. All right, if you add in a few from Bryce. So it was just, missed opportunities. I mean, and he is right. There were a lot of missed opportunities. But I think a lot of those missed opportunities were because of some of his play call. his play calling and the team's execution. And we'll get into that here in a minute too. Dom, what's going on, man? How you doing? Don't be surprised if we beat the Rams Sunday. It's a pattern of win one, lose one. Man, let me tell you, we are okay. I'll get into that later. But I wouldn't expect that. That these players are faking injuries just to get out the game. I hope not. The reason our defense got hurt is because of our offense. Now, I'm not going to fully put that on the offense, but it did contribute. I'm not going to say, excuse me. I'm not going to say that JC and Claude Sherrillas got concussions because, they were on the field too long, but I can't sit here and say that defense wasn't hella tired. Okay. 15 minutes more being on the field than the offense. That's like some last year kind of stats right there. That's the type of games that we put out here, last year. And this defense was out there fighting for their lives, where the offense was going, 3 and out. Not all the time, but the majority of the time. So yeah, but I feel you though. I feel you. Well, yeah. I mean, you can say on the flip side, yeah, they out there, they're tired. Yeah. Man, you probably right, T. Thompson. Yeah. Morey hit this dude in the nuts after the game. Why are the players getting so feisty? No, this was during the game. And then old buddy walked up to him and slapped him across the helmet after the game. All right, but we get into that in a second too. Have you heard we signed Isaiah Simmons? Yes, I did see that earlier. I did see that earlier. Don't know how much of an impact he's going to have on us right now, but I like it that the Panthers, well, not really like it, but they're in we have to mode. Not going out there being proactive or anything. It's like we ain't got no other choice. We got to go out here and get somebody. But we'll see how he does. So what about Isaiah Simmons? Yeah. I do too, man. I feel bad for him today. Said he has to be beside himself. What you talking about? You talking about Simmons? We need to draft a QB in 2026 to sit for 2 years, play in the preseason. I'm not gonna lie. I would not be opposed to that. But the thing is, who are we going to get? We're even at 6, and even if we weren't to win another game this year, we would be 6-11. Is that high enough to get any of the top rated quarterbacks? I don't think there, but a couple of highly touted quarterbacks in this draft. My man from Indiana, and I can't think of. I know everybody talking about Norris Sellers, but he'll probably stay another year, and a couple more. He said sit behind who? Well, I mean, like I said, Bryce is going to be here next year. Okay. I do believe he's going to be here for the 4th year of his contract, because I do believe he will literally, and I keep saying this, he's literally going to have to fall off of a cliff and not be able to walk in the stadium. Okay. If he goes out here and the thing is, even if this trend continues of being sporadic, good game, bad game, good game, bad game, good game, bad game, it's still going to be what it is. We've already eclipsed our win total from last year, and they keep seeing flashes. Okay. They got till May. They got till May to decide on his 5th year option. And I know Will was on here on the preview with me, him and Quantum, and they both were talking about, you go ahead and you sign him. You don't want to not sign him, then he goes somewhere else and does good. At this point, I still don't know about all that, but we'll talk about that here in a minute as well. So he should be an actor in Hollywood. They were smiling the whole interview. Said why CJ, why doggone it. That's just him. That's just him. He just I don't know. Let me tell you, if I was the head coach, I ain't got no poker face like that. Not at all. Not at all. Let me tell you, I if I was happy, I'm happy. If I was pissed off, I'd be pissed off. Yeah. Doing interviews would not be my strong suit if I was a head coach. Let me see. Stratted 483. What's going on? If Bryce runs in for a touchdown instead of throwing an interception, we ain't having this conversation. Potentially. Yeah, potentially. You might be right. I knew rookie will sit behind Bryce and a 3 to 5 year veteran. Okay. What's going on, Ernie Hardy? Dave Canales should be ashamed of himself. Watch him put up 300 against the Rams. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. What if we went out the rest of the regular season? I wish. I completely. If that's the case, then we in the playoffs. If we win out, we will be the champions of the NFC South. But that's shooting. That right there is shooting for like Neptune and hoping you fall on Saturn or something. Or if I got the planets backwards, you know what I mean. Let me see. Dave is a psychopath. I think I'll never ever see him upset or happy. Yeah. What's up, 336? We still blaming coaches and play calling, huh? Okay. Well, let me tell you. Instead of blaming one person for everything around here, we just talking. Okay. You watched my channel long enough to know everybody's getting the smoke over here. Okay. I'm not blaming just one person. It was a game. Now, mind you, I'm not putting any blame on the defense for this one. I think the defense did enough, even with all the injuries they had later in the game and whatever. I think the defense did enough. If I gotta put sole blame on this, putting it on the offense. Okay, I'm putting it on the offense, and I'm putting on the play calling, and I'm putting it on the execution. All right. Let me see. Every game is a dogfight. Yeah, not all of them, but yeah. He said 336 don't start tonight. No, he good, man. He good. Let me tell you. Nah, I like I said, it's not a, it's yeah, y'all know who I am. Yeah, y'all know how I am. I'm not gonna sit here and bash on one player for 4 or 5 hours. That's not how I roll. It's not what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm definitely not, because I know a lot of people talk Bryce Young. Okay. He does not escape any blame in this at all. Like at all. But we're gonna get into that here in the next slide or two. All right. Defense surprised me. Yeah. And I mean, and the crazy thing is, you get 3 interceptions in the first half. 3 of them, y'all. 3, and only get 3 points. Oh, that's pitiful. Terrible offensive output. Exactly. For us to win the division, yeah. Oh yeah, we'd have to win out, or we'd have to. Well, you know what? We're getting to that here in a little bit as well. All right. Blame everyone except JC and Mike. I got you. Too inconsistent. That's the problem. Facts. Okay. All right, so usually I don't bring up the injury report on the recap, but I got to on this one. Okay, so the players that did not play are on the right. That was Trevin Wallace, shoulder. Christian Roseboom, he had a hip/hamstring injury, and Cade Mays was out with an ankle. Okay, so the players that got hurt during the game versus San Francisco, J.C. Horn, concussion. Claude Chirelis, concussion. Both are in concussion protocol, okay? And the median, which is the average time for an NFL player being in concussion protocol, is 9 days. Okay. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're probably not going to see J.C. Horn or Claude Chirelis in the LA Rams game. Okay. I hope to God there's some way that Roseboom and Trevin Wallace can come back before then, but I'm not going to put the bank on it or bet the bank on it. All right. Cade Mays. He was out a game earlier this season with an ankle issue as well. I don't know if it was the same ankle, the same issue, or whatever. But they had a stat up there. No, no, not this stat. I saw this on Twitter. Bryce Young is like 8 and something when Cade Mays is the starter, and he is 1 for something with Austin Corbett or anybody else or whatever it was. And I was just like, yeah. And you know what? I should have known it was going to be a bad game when ESPN put that stat up and it said the Panthers are 6-0 in games where they won the toss. And what do? We won the toss and went out there and stunk it up. I should have known better. I hate to be superstitious and things like that, but it never fails. It never fails. That's like the announcer's curse when they say, hey, you know what? So-and-so has made his last 7 kicks. Why in God's name did you say that? So I feel the same way about that. When they put that stat up there, I looked and I was like, oh, crap. I was like, here we go. Okay. Corey Thornton, as you heard from Dave Canales, broke a bone in his leg. He's out for the season. Chandler Zavala, man, let me tell you, poor Ting. I mean, Zavala can't stay healthy for nothing, and I feel bad for him because he made it a whole game last week. Okay, made it the whole game, and now he's hurt again. So yeah, and I'm hoping, that JC and Claudia can get out of concussion protocol before this game safely. Okay, I don't want to rush him back because they said when JC went in the locker room, he was fine. They came back out for the second half and he was throwing up like crazy. And then that let the trainers know to go ahead and test him for concussion symptoms. And then that's when he was out for the game. Okay. But I hope they can both safely come back. Zavala, I hope he can get right, but if you ask me, I say you go ahead and put Jake Curhan in, and let him stay in and be the right guard. So, but we'll see. Excuse me. Let me see here. Said we might need a new offense coordinator. Move Brad to assistant offensive coordinator. I got you. We don't know, man. We don't ever have two things that match like Smokey said on a Friday. You got peanut butter, no jelly. Lord have mercy. You right. You right. You absolutely right. Wallace could be back this Sunday. I hope to God so. Dave Canales just needs to oversee and motivate the team. You know what? Hey, we gonna talk about motivation here in a hot second too. We're gonna talk about motivation right here in a minute. Okay. I'm tired of Chandler. Sorry, sloppy ass CJ. LOL. I'm just tired. He gotta go. Keep 74 Curhan or anyone but Chandler. I got you. He's at Thornton in black and white RIP. Well, I decided to change, the cats down at the bottom right, and I got Thornton in there as well. They are all out for the season, man. But yeah, I'm tired. Oh, that same comment just had. It never fails. Yeah, it never fails. Never fails. So we will be drafting O-line. I do believe so. I agree with you. It's just how high up we're drafting the offensive line right now is the question. So he probably only good for one. Man, it feels that way. It feels that way. He got in. What was it? Hold on. Was it the Atlanta game? He got hurt and was able to come back and play the rest of the game. So yeah, we'll see. Say just a young man with old man's body. Yo, we literally have one QB on roster: Dalton, Mr. Clipboard, and Mike White Trash. Jesus Christ! Oh my God. Said bro, Zavala don't like playing him. Falling look fake as hell. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I had to go ahead and take a look at that. All right, but here's our injury report, and let me tell you, okay, if JC can't go, Corey Thornton's already out, Garner Shirelis is out. But just think about we're playing the LA Rams with Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, and they have a couple of good slot receivers as well. Can y'all imagine Mike Jackson and Shao Smith Wade covering Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams? Okay, just let that sink in for a second. I'm gonna sit back. Okay, yeah, let that sink in for a second. That's going to be a long day for our defense. A long day. Said Andy Dalton take us to the Super Bowl. I doubt it. I don't think we got anybody gonna take us to the Super Bowl right now. Hold on. The announcers ruin my so many games. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So he deserves an Oscar for that play action. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So we in trouble. Yeah, man. We in trouble, dog. We in trouble. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay. Keys to victory. None of them. All right. Absolutely none of them. Stop the run. No. Run the ball. No. Open opportunities. Hell no. Pressure Brock Purdy. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, and the Joker ran for a few first downs. So yeah, man. Keys to victory. Total. Just yeah. Scrap all of them from yesterday. All of them, just nothing. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Okay, so now we got this dodo right here. All right, and I call him a dodo because, you know, as you can see in the picture right here, I mean, square in the nuts. Okay, just I mean, just punched him. You know, like why? And the crazy thing is the amount of self-control that Juwan Jennings had on that play to get up and not swing on him right then and there. I gotta admire. And they did an interview with him after the game, and they were like, you know, because he, now mind you, he did do a little something after the game, but he said right there in the moment he didn't want to do nothing to hurt the team. He was like, I'm a, what is that, 7th round pick, you know, trying to get in where he fit in. I can't lie. I can't lie. I gotta admire him for that. I have to admire him for that, being able to, you know, compose himself and not just blow off the go off the lid right there and just go right back at Merrick. And you know, and then after the game, Merrick was just, you know, I guess what happened, they got a picture of Merrick just sitting there like laughing at him, like, ha ha. And I'm just like, dude, you know what I mean? So, you know, add this to if JC Horn can't go, Claudio Chirelis can't go, we're missing Corey Thornton. Okay. Now, mind you, we do have Lathan Ransom and Damani Richardson back there, but Trayvon Merrick is also our big nickel slash, you know, slot big nickel linebacker who kind of plays that role, you know, slash in the slot as well. You know, I don't know who else they're gonna have to try to fill that role. You know what I mean? But yeah. So just a bonehead move. In my opinion, you know, he's going to be suspended for next week, so we won't see him again until the Saints game, because after this week Carolina has a bye. You know, thank God. Okay, so we'll see him after the at the Saints game, and you know, Dave said that he had a good talk with him, and he's going to keep all that, you know, between them, which, you know, I agree with Dave. You know, but still, man, let me tell you, bonehead move right here. Absolute bonehead move, man. It's just it's no place for it. It's no place for it. So, but yeah, Trayvon Merrick, it has been suspended. And when I saw that last night, they showed the replay, I was like, yep. I said he's gonna be gone for at least a game. I thought they might give him more than one game. You know, I think we're lucky he only got one, so we'll see. Let me see. Dream 58, what's going on? So we got to play them like we did the Packers, and I mean control the ball for all 13 minutes of quarter. Yes, that's what it's going to have to take. That's what it's going to take for us to be. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That's what it's going to take for us to go out there and try to be competitive with the Rams. Okay, but my thing is, like I said, you got Kyron Williams in the backfield. You got Puka Nacua. You got Vontae Adams. Okay, and then defense, you got the kid Young, Jared Verse, you know, some good defense. If I'm not mistaken, they get my man from Florida State, Fisk, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know much of who they got in their secondary, you know, but a decent front seven. So we'll see. We'll see. And my thing is, and if Icky turns out and has another game, you know, like he did this week, yeah, we're definitely gonna be in some trouble. Definitely gonna be in some trouble. Let me see. Jesus is not on our team. It's not possible, Nella. Oh, hold on. So with Jesus, anything is possible. Yeah. I do agree. I concur fully. You know, he there, Mr. Hunky Dory. He there. But right now it's just like he's sitting back like, yeah, you know how you know you tell your kids, okay, you don't believe me, you gonna learn the hard way. I think that's what Jesus is telling everybody on the Panthers right now. Saying Evero, I trust we gonna be all right. Like I said, the only issue I had with defense was still that parking lot defense. Like I like to play, like I like to say, because you know, still third down and 3 and 4, and they still playing, you know, 30 yards off the line of scrimmage. So yeah, he said game move. I agree. No place for it. Grown man shouldn't be doing that. Absolutely not. Said, is he nuts for doing it? Yeah, man. It was terrible. Cool Kev, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? He said, hey, yeah, I'm telling you, man. Maybe he aimed wrong. Man, let me tell you. It don't matter. You know, my thing is either way, you should not be punching anybody. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know what Jawan Jennings did to garner this, or him even being like, if he missed and we're gonna punch him in the stomach or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Got to admit it was a square hit. He got all the beans and went. Oh, leave it to Mr. Hunky Dory. I'm sorry. That it's places for it. What's up, Nakari? Nah, bam, not here though. Not here. Also, bad news, fellas. I'm in the slot this week. I never play nickel or football. Heat pounding. You know what? To be honest, the 49ers defense took our offense soul last night. It was like, if we flinch, we're going to knock your ass out. Yeah, basically. And I don't even think the 49ers defense took it. Hell, I think we just offered it up and said, here, we good. We don't want this no more. But, you know, let's move on. Trayvon Merrick, idiot, suspended. All right. Okay. So let's get down to brass tacks here now. All right. This team, and I'm not just going to relegate this to the offense itself. Okay. I will call the defense bipolar as well, but not nowhere near the level that the offense has been this year. Okay. And some of the things I said we're going to talk about. Okay. So you go 3 and out on the first drive. Icky gets the holding penalty. We had a first down. Tommy Tremble caught the ball, got brought back. Icky had a holding penalty. Okay. So then you have another play where Bryce is looking on the left side, staring the receiver down. Even though I do think that one play was designed for Rico, because he didn't look anywhere else. He got the ball, he turned, he threw it straight to him, and that was that. That was a wrap. That was it. You get Chuba Hubbard in with the draw, almost get the first down. I'm not gonna lie. On that play, I was sitting there like, man, he should have went for it. We really should have went for the ball for the fourth down on that one. But we're not in plus territory. I mean, I do understand that, but the way that Dave Canales has been a gunslinger on fourth down, I do think that was a situation where it should have happened. But couple plays later, J.C. Horn gets one hell of an interception, okay, and runs it back, and gets us in good field position. All right, and then we get to the infamous 1st and goal. All right, now 2 things on that play. One, I don't think the play should have been called. Period. Okay, if you are a running team, Dave Canales, if you are a running team, you go out there and you establish the run. Okay. Me personally, I would have ran that ball 4 straight times with Rico and Chuba. All right. If you don't get the touchdown, you put the 49ers at the 1 yard line. Hell, my thing is this: get Bobby Brown. Okay. Get Bobby Brown the third. Get Derek Brown. Get Ashawn Robinson. Hell, get Turk Wharton ass out there. You know, put one of them jokers in practice and line them up at fullback. Okay. Make a play for one of them as a lead blocker. All right, put Bryce on the center, get in the I formation, get your heavy I formation set, or whatever set you want to put your extra blockers in there and go move some people out the way. If you're going to call yourself a run first team, if you want to go out here and establish the run, no, you go out here and you want to get cutesy with it on first down and do a play action. Okay, now let's go to Bryce on this play. All right, first of all, if Bryce would have took the snap and look, Mitchell Evans was wide open. Now, mind you, he had a short window for this. He was open. He had to give him the ball quick. He did not. Okay, so then you decide to scamper your little feet out and run. Okay, at that point, you see my man who ended up intercepting the ball, number 27. You see at this point, I think he caught a glimpse of Mitchell Evans in his peripherals. You see him back up going towards Mitchell Evans. I don't understand how Bryce did not see that. Okay. Then, all right, then you got Damian Lewis out there. Was it Lewis or Moulton? One of the guard. No, it was one of them. I don't think it was Icky. It was Lewis or Moulton, if I'm not mistaken. You know, the one other player that's out there, they're about to get blocked. Worst case scenario, you go and you run that ball. You might get a yard. You might get down to near the goal line, you know, or whatever, but you do not make that throw. Bryce probably could have walked in the end zone, or he probably could have got close enough dove, got the ball over the goal, nosed the ball over the goal line, it would have been a touchdown. Okay. I don't understand that play call, and the execution at all. You know what I mean? Like Bryce, you do not throw that pass. Okay. And my thing is, if it wasn't open when you initially looked over there and you're rolling out, okay, I know you can see all those people over there. I know everybody's saying he's too short, he can't see the field. I'm sure he could see those people over there. It wasn't that many of people in his way that he couldn't see. And you clearly saw my man running back towards Mitchell Evans. He knew he was going to get the ball. Okay, you tuck that ball, you take it, and you run and try to get a touchdown. Okay, or even get closer. And then my thing is the next play, Dave Canales, you line them boys up and you run the damn ball. Okay, and reason why I say it's bipolar, because we saw what happened last week. Okay, now mind you, the offense in the first half wasn't great. Okay, we went down and got a touchdown on the first drive, and I think we had like 2 or 3 more in the first half where we didn't do much, and we got a field goal near the end of the first half. Okay, but then you go out here this week, and it's like, what happened to that playbook where you used all the plays? You got to the podium and said, "Well, I don't have any more plays to call." All laughing and joking and crap. You know what I mean? Then you get out here in this game, and it's not like, San Francisco was stacking the box all night. Okay, it's not like they were doing that at all. There was, I think it was the first play of the game. Who was it? When they gave Rico the ball, you had Icky and Damian Lewis. They had a duo block on one defensive tackle. Then you had Zavala and Austin Corbett. Did another duo block on another tackle. You know what I mean? And when I first played the clip, I was like, okay, cool. Well, they're going ahead and start off in these duos, and then they're going to, push up the field and try to get to the second level. Nah, I don't know what Tony told me what the play call was earlier, and I swear I forgot. But my thing is, even still with that play call, as not as bad as it looked, but as bad as it looked, Rico still pulled off 4 yards. Okay, still pulled off 4 yards. And you only get him the ball 6 times. 6 times, y'all. And Chuba had 3. Okay. 6 times. We had a total of 13 rushes. Okay. And for that, all right, I'm gonna tell you this. I wrote all this down here. So, rushing attempts for the season. Okay, I'm gonna go through each game. Jacksonville 25, Arizona 19, Atlanta 30, New England 28, Miami 32, Dallas 38, the Jets 36, Buffalo 28, Green Bay 33, New Orleans 23, Atlanta 25, San Francisco 13. Okay, we talked about this earlier today. Christian McCaffrey was going out there and they were running the ball. Shanahan said, no matter if he gets 2 yards, 3 yards, or -1 yards, we are going out there and you are going to have to respect the fact that we are going to run this ball. Okay. I think Canales gave up on the run way too early last night. Way too early. All right. Way too early. Okay. And then if you hop back over on the other side, with Bryce, I mean, it's just, now mind you, he didn't get a whole crap ton of help from his offensive line. I'm not going to put all the blame on them. Okay, like I said, Icky got worked most of the night by Bryce Huff. It didn't look good at times from the other offensive linemen, but he still had enough time to make some plays. And what I saw from Bryce, I saw Bryce revert back to, oh, I'm going to stare down one receiver on one side of the field. And then at the last second, I'm a dodge a sack, which I give him credit. He dodged quite a few sacks last night. He definitely dodged quite a few of them from his left, from Icky's side of the field. Okay. But you get out there and you get back to that. I'm staring down one side of the field. I'm not looking at the rest of them. That is killing this offense. And then you really didn't see that, last week. You go back and look at the tape of Bryce versus Atlanta. And it's just he got the ball and he's going through his progressions, and I'm just like, why in God's name can that not translate from week to week? And my thing is it a Bryce thing? Is it a play calling thing? I don't know. I know there's a lot of y'all out there to be like, it's just a Bryce thing. He's trash. Well, I'll agree with you on this one. He is trash at going through those progressions. But my thing is it part of the play calling or is it not? You know, I just don't understand. I don't, because I had a slide last week for the recap, and I had a picture of Canales and Bryce Young. Can we keep it going? Okay. And for right now, the answer is absolutely not. We absolutely not. We absolutely cannot keep this going. Absolutely not. From what I've seen, there is no way in God's name that this offense can string together, 3 or 4 good games in a row. Okay. Now, mind you, the Dolphins game and the Cowboys game, I say those were 2 decent games in a row. Well, besides Bryce throwing, putting us down 17 to Miami, he had 1 pick early against Dallas, which went through Tet drop. Speaking of drops, he had a couple last night. Hell, that Leggett went out of bounds, came back in, caught the ball. But if I'm not mistaken, George Kittle did the same thing and didn't get called for it as well. Then you on the next interception, you had Ted McMillan going in his break, and whoever the cornerback was, grabbed his whole arm. I mean, you know how back in the day when you're trying to get a girl attention, you might grab an arm, and be like, hey, let me talk to you. He did that whole thing, like just grabbed his arm and pulled him towards him, like, hey, come here, let me holler at you. No call, no call whatsoever. You know what I mean? But it's just a mess. It is just an absolute mess. And I mean, I just was talking about hope, and faith in this team, and I'm seriously like, it's none right now. It's none, because you don't know who's going to show up. Like literally. Let me tell you, nobody in Panther Nation right now can sit up here and say, you know what, we feel like this team is going to go out here and do this week. Okay. I don't think it's been that way for the whole damn season. I know it hasn't been with me. It hasn't been with me. That's why I stopped doing score predictions, because I was just like, well, damn. Every time I pick them to win, they lose. Every time I pick them to lose, they win. That's why I was like, you know what? Let me keep my mouth shut. You know what I mean? And it's like we week to week, we get out here like last week. Everybody was happy. I was happy because we won. We came back. We had a good showing. Bryce had a good showing. The play calling, in my opinion, was excellent. You know what I mean? I thought it was very good last week. Very good. And then we get out here and it's like, I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I didn't see anything particularly daunting from San Francisco defense that suggested that, we couldn't go out there. And I know every game is different. All right. Every team is different. Every team has a different defense. Even if you run the same, even if you got 2 teams that run 3-4 defense, their schemes are different inside of that 3-4. Okay. So I know they watched the film and they went out there. But my thing is, why in God's sake is Atlanta the only team that we seem to be able to spread the ball around and get the ball down the field? Like, I don't understand that. We play the Falcons and it's just like, all right, cool. Let's blow the lid off, especially in Atlanta. Let's blow the lid off this joint. Next week, it's like, all right, we got to put the lid back on top. We got to cover last week up and wait for us to play the Falcons again. You know what I mean? And we ain't got no more Falcons games this year. None. So it's I just don't get this dynamic here. Okay, and like I said, I'm not putting all the blame on either one of these 2 right here, but you can definitely blame the play calling, and you can definitely blame the execution on Bryce's end as well. Okay, he did not look like the same quarterback who went out there and threw for 448 yards last week. Okay, and I was a comment earlier about getting rid of Bryce Young and Dave Canales. I'm going to say this. Okay, if Bryce is not Dave's guy, okay, by all means, okay, let Bryce go, get rid of him, do whatever you got to do, and get somebody in here who Dave feels like is his guy. All right, I have no problem with that. All right, or my thing is, if you're the owner, and this might be it, If you're the owner and you're like, okay, well, I still feel like Bryce is the guy and David's not doing a good job with him. Well, by God, get somebody in here who can work with him. You know what I mean? Get somebody in here who can do something with him. And I know a lot of y'all feel like there's nothing that can be done with him. And I mean, and the crazy thing is, you know, it may not be. It absolutely may not be, because it's too much of this. It's too much of this. Like we've been right here for about 2 games this year. Everything else is this right here. You know, and if that's what we gonna get out of him, I mean, it's always what's best for the organization. Okay, that's how I feel. It's always what's best for the organization. But as long as he's out there, I am going to I'm going to root for him. Okay, I root for everybody on this team. But at this point, it's just like, you know, we got to do what's best for the team. You know what I mean? And if Dave Canales is going to be here for the long term, and like I said, and these are conversations I hope are happening behind the scenes. I really do. I really, 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 really do. Okay, because we all we have been asking for as a fan base is a little bit of consistency, okay, from our starting quarterback, and we have not been able to get that consistently enough. Okay, and like I said, I'm not hung up on the 200 yards a game like so many people are. Oh my God, 200 yards a game, can't get to it. I'm not all hung up on that. If he goes out there and gets 150 or 180 or 190, you know, in the games that we had against Miami and Dallas, you know, without the turnovers, okay, you know, without the turnovers. But it seems like he can't get right on the turnovers neither. You know, he's always making some kind of a boneheaded throw, you know, to set us back early in games for the most part. You know, not every game. You know what I mean? But we haven't seen this consistently, you know, game after game after game. I know every quarterback is not going to have a great game all the time. You know what I mean? But even, you know, you go out there, you have some of these quarterbacks who look good and lose. You know what I mean? I don't know, but maybe a couple games, you know, last year that Bryce has looked good in, and you know, and we lost, and that was later in the season. You know, he looked decent versus the Bucks when we lost that game. He looked decent versus the Chiefs when we lost that game. You know, somewhat decent against the Eagles. You know what I mean? But like this year, it's been all or nothing. It's all or nothing, and yeah. You know, but like I said, I do believe he's still going to be here next year. Me personally, I'm not giving him that 5th year option. I know a lot of people agree with that. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I'm not giving him that 5th year option. You know, and my thing is this: if he went out there and put together the next what we got, what we 66, we got 5 more games. Okay, if we went out there for the next 5 games and he put up 275 yards a game and at least 2 touchdowns and no turnovers, I still wouldn't give him an extension, that 5th year option. I still wouldn't do it, because we have not seen that level of consistency over an entire 17 game season from Bryce Young. Okay, we didn't see it all his rookie year. We saw it in spurts later on in the season last year, and it's this. You know, it's been this year. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, but I don't understand this offense. I don't understand the play calling. The execution is literally getting on my last nerve, and it's just frustrating. Like I said, when I put the comment in the chat before live started, you know, it's hard being a Panthers fan. It is hard because you don't know what you're going to get. You know, I really envy these fan bases that have like, yeah, you know what? That's our quarterback. That's our team. He going to go out there and do this. We do not know that right now. We do not know that. He will have a good game, and I know some people is like, you know, it's going to be like clockwork. You're going to go out there and have a bad game. And I try to be like, nah, I'm hoping that he doesn't, and then all hope is gone. So, yeah. All right, I know I'm go back here a ways, but let me catch up with some of the comments here. Let me see. Dom said facts. I told you Tommy Tremble is our tight end / fullback. Yeah, I would have took Tommy. Oh, and then hold on. And let me go back to the bipolarism. If I said that right again. You know, and then my thing is, then in the second half, when we finally get a touchdown, and so they got the roughing the snapper penalty. Okay, so you can't touch the long snapper. He got knocked backwards on his ass. All right, they got a penalty. And I'm sitting there seeing all the coaches like, get your helmets on to the offense. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, no. Like, no. Why do we have to sit through this 2 weeks in a row? I'm like, do not tell them to go out there and go for this 2-point conversion. I'm like, Dave, take the points. Take the 1 point and make it a 7-point game. Okay. Now, mind you, now you don't get this. Now you have to go for 2 later on. Okay. Just think about it. If we would have messed around and got the ball back and would be able to go down the field, we get a touchdown and field goal. That's a tie game instead of us having to go for 2, to make it whatever. Okay. Because San Francisco got another field goal. So if we'd have got another touchdown, then we'd have to go for 2 points to make it a 3-point game. Okay. That's like last week in Atlanta. It's the second quarter. What are you going for 2 for? Like why? You're not in that position yet to where you have to go for 2. And he's done that a few times this year, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Let me see. Dunky Dory said, Bruce Banner or the Hulk. We never know. We need the Hulk smash. Said that play was dead either way. But you know what though? Big Mo, on that play, it would have it might have been dead, but we probably would have had the ball for another play. Like I said, if the play wasn't called, or if Bryce Young would not have made that throw. Okay, you take that ball and you try to run it to the end zone. That play call, it was a tight window. Mitchell Evans was open. He waited too long. So yes, we are bipolar. Ball was meant for Tommy Tremble in the end zone. Gotcha. While Bryce is an issue, I believe Canales isn't helping him. Canales said if we don't have success with throwing the ball, aka the interception, then it was a check down the rest of the night. That's the way it felt. That's the way it felt. And I heard somebody say this earlier, and it's like when Bryce goes out there and messes up the first time, it's almost like Canales defaults into, it's almost like he defaults into I don't know what to do mode. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. Said now add in suspensions and injuries. What's going on, Austin? How you doing, buddy? CJ, there's no way not letting the play develop is part of the play calling or a coaching point. I got you. I got you. I got you. Oh, you talking about him going through his progressions and stuff. I got you. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Because I don't know, like I said, when he had Baker Mayfield in Tampa, Baker Mayfield goes through his his progressions. He sees where his wide receivers are at. And then unless he's under some serious pressure from the jump, you know what I mean? It's like Bryce gets the ball and he does this. Okay, either I'm gonna throw it out of bounds, I'm gonna throw a pick, I'm gonna take a sack. Like in the games where he had Sunday. I'm sorry, yesterday, Monday night. Said grab an arm, get you arrested today. You got that right. Refs were definitely doing us dirty. It felt like it, man. I swear it felt like it. Because let me tell you, also on the first play of the game, right? First play of the game, you saw Damian Lewis. It looked like Damian Lewis may have tried for a hot second to move up to the second level. That defensive tackle that he and Icky were doing the combo block on, Damian Lewis, like he was trying to get past him, grabbed him by the collar right here and swung him around. And no call. No call whatsoever. I guarantee you that'd been somebody from the Panthers that would have been called. All right. Poor Dow didn't get to play football yesterday. Sure didn't. Sure did. Hey, and speaking of Rico, okay, well, let me get through the comments first. We're gonna get back to Rico in a second. You cannot count any Falcons games because Evero worked under Raheem and knows his playbook thoughts. Well, you know what? My thing is, Raheem is not calling the defense. What's the name of Jeff Ulrich is his defensive coordinator. So I can't necessarily agree with you on that one. I think Ulrich came from, I don't know if he came from up under Raheem Morris or anything, but well, I have to look at that and see. I don't know if he came under Raheem Morris's coaching tree. But nah, I'm not gonna give them that excuse. I'm not gonna give them that excuse at all. Let me see. It's the damn whiplash of inconsistency. Facts. I'm with you, CJ. Even the biggest Bryce haters can't deny he's had some good games. Inconsistency could very well be a result of poor coaching and not Bryce himself. Yes, and it's funny because I heard somebody say that if Bryce went out there and looked good against the 49ers defense, that they're not going to count that because the 49ers defense was trash and missing a lot of people. Then I heard somebody else say today that, oh, well, you got this defense and you're supposed to go out there and you're supposed to dominate this defense. Why couldn't you do it? And I'm just like, you got to pick one. Like Cuz said last week, the goalposts just be doing this. And I'm not trying to defend Bryce at all on that one, but my thing is, it's every week when he does have a decent game, it's here, and then next week it's over here. So, but yeah, but he's definitely had some good games this year. I'm not gonna sit there and doubt that, but the like you said, the lack of consistency is right now it's overpowering everything that we're doing. It's literally overpowering everything that we're doing so far this season. And it is as much of that on Canales is on Bryce too. And to be honest with you, if it comes to this, I'd probably have to put more of it on Bryce. You know what I mean? Because Canales is calling the plays, but at the end of the day, it is up to Bryce to go out there and execute. And every play call that Canales calls is not a bad play. Okay. Now, mind you, the scheme and the plays that we see in certain games that we don't see in others, is definitely an issue. But yeah, the play calls call the plays, and it's up to the players to go out there and execute. But yeah, let me see. If Bryce is not his guy, then why they tell him to pass on first and goal? I have no clue. I have no clue. And like I said, I'm just speculating. If Bryce is not his guy, it's time to do something different. All right. If Bryce is his guy, hey, let me tell you, I don't know. They keep this up. They gonna be on the sinking ship together. I'm just put it like that. Said let's see what Mike White can do. He has experience. Yeah, but it ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Hire Brian Dayball. He's the only one I know that got something out of Bryce. I got you. Let me see. Mendoza in the draft, even if it costs a man, hell no, Miss Hunky Dory. No. So we better draft Dave Guy this summer. But that's the thing. Is he in this draft though? Is he in this draft? Okay. And see, my thing is this: if Bryce is not the guy, okay, do we just go ahead and get through this next year and continue to build all the other pieces? Okay, we put money into the offense. Now I think it's time we put more money into the defense. Okay, we need we need some more edge rushers. Okay, because and the thing is, we have 16 sacks for the season, y'all. 16 sacks for the season. And this is my only other knock on the defense. We're still not getting any pressure on the opposing quarterbacks, getting them down to the ground. Except in the Jets game where we had 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games where we have 0 sacks. We have 1, 2, 3 where we have 1 sack. And we have, let me see, 1, 2, we have 2 sacks. And then we have Miami where we had 3 and the Jets where we had 6. Okay. But yeah. Let me see. Appreciate you. Papa said, oh, CJ, you're gonna have to refresh me on that because I ain't gonna lie, I forgot what I was talking about. Say you better not trade up for QB again. Hell no. No. Yes, he is worth the draft. Man, nah, Miss Hunky Dory. No. Hey, let me tell you, you can't put Panther Nation through this again, dog. But you know what though? I think a lot of Panther Nation would be okay with this if it was anybody but Bryce Young. You know what I mean? I think there was a lot of people that just did not like him from the jump. Heisman winner or whatever. They just did not like. I'm not gonna lie. Me and Tony, we wanted CJ Stroud. Okay, we were wanting the Panthers to draft CJ Stroud, but they went with Bryce. But 2 first-round picks, man. Let me tell you, you are going to see a lot of empty seats in Bank of America Stadium if we trade another 2 first-rounders to go up and get another quarterback. Yeah. People were saying that shit for Bryce and CJ, and look at that now. Said, come on, I got you. I don't think Canales even believe he is the head coach himself. Said, had us up early talking about this shit. Yeah, man. We do that trade up shit again. 2027 will be another historic QB class again, and we won't be able to get one. Keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. Go right ahead. Now, my thing is this. Okay, like I said, Bryce is probably going to be the quarterback next year, and we'll see how that goes. But if it doesn't pan out, okay, and I ain't gonna lie, right now it's looking like it's not going to pan out. I don't know what next year holds, but if I'm going by what's happened this year, it doesn't look like it's going to pan out right now. Okay, like I said, you take this off season, you draft and in free agency, and you build to get some starters on defense. Okay, and then build your depth on the offense, especially the offensive line. Okay, I think we got plenty of wide receivers, we got plenty of running backs. If you want to bring in another tight end, whatever. I don't think we really need another tight end right now. But definitely some depth on the offensive line. But we need another edge rusher. We need another linebacker, and we definitely need another safety and cornerback opposite of JC Horn. It's been 10 years. Panthers still haven't gotten it right. True. Said, I want Stroud over Bryce. I support Bryce because he's a quarterback, but my arms and voice are tired and strained. Facts, Mr. Hunky Dory. Big facts. So you got to continue, Mr. Hunky Dory. Yeah, we need O-line and other key pieces. Facts. Kid, you crazy. So bro, we have no pass rush. Yeah. And it's sporadic. It's so sporadic. Like, we've had 2 games where we've had more than 2 sacks. Okay, so for the season, through 11 games, we're averaging 1.3 sacks per game. 1.3. Everybody else in our division is over 2 sacks a game. Okay, we can count on basically we can count on one to third sack a game. Okay, and a lot of these games is absolutely nothing. All right, and the thing is, even with the first Falcons game, and I keep saying this, we were getting pressure on Michael Penix. We were getting to him a half a step too late. Okay, but we were getting in his face. We were knocking him down. We were making him make errant throws. It's gotten to the point now where it's just like, now we're just kind of running around, and the other teams are doing a great job of pushing the pressure behind their quarterbacks. Okay, you got their offensive tackles who are pushing our defensive ends around their quarterback. You got the quarterback that's stepping up in the pocket, but their 2 guards in center are doing a good job of keeping our defensive tackles from being able to collapse the rest of the pocket in front of the quarterbacks. You get what I'm saying? So their quarterbacks are having the option to step up in the pocket, make that throw downfield or take off running, and then you're seeing them getting all these cheap first downs. But we don't have it's shown up at times. You know what I mean? It's shown up at times, but it hasn't shown up when we really need it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Our defense is still talent depleted by not using first round picks on defense for several years. Facts. Yeah. I saw all I need to see after the interception on the 2-yard line. He was scrambling that whole drive, but makes the decision to throw on the 2, get him off my team, decided to throw the ball. I feel you. Traded away several high picks again, but doomed the defense for an eternity. I agree. I think Will Levis would do well under Canales. I don't want to draft a QB. Definitely needs some serious juice at edge and wide receiver. I'm not sold on Will Levis, but I know a lot of people were. But we'll see. We have to get edge rusher from free agency and draft linebackers, plus draft a right tackle. I agree with you on that one. We do need to go ahead and get Taylor Moton's successor in the system and get him ready. Unless when Taylor's 2 years up, there is just a can't miss right tackle in the draft. But my thing is, we'd probably have to suck again to pick that how to get that right tackle. So we'll see. Papa said it's week 12. Now you know who he is, CJ. Yeah. He's very inconsistent in getting on my damn nerves. Yeah. Canales and Bryce don't go together just like hot oil and water. Yeah. One quarterback I'll take a flyer on, developed with elite upside, is Brendan Sorsby. Who's Brendan Sorsby? What do you play? I can't lie to you. I have not kept up with college football much at all. So you let me know who he is, Ernie. Canales mad at Bryce for choosing Tepper over him. Yo. The last 3 head coaches, all losers. I got you. Sign Aaron Rodgers if he still wants to play next year. Man, he ain't coming here. What's Jimmy doing these days? To my Jimmy Horn, he actually got in on a play last night that was not a jet sweep. So there's that. There's that. So, but yeah. All right. So, let me tell you, and like Papa said, it's week 12. We know Cincinnati Bearcats QB. Let me tell you, I have not paid attention to the Bearcats at all this season. He said Clausen. Man, let me tell you, even if they went out and got Jimmy Clausen right now and I'll be like, you know what, let's go Jimmy Clausen. You know what I mean? And whoever is there, I'm going to root for him. Okay, got you, Ernie. Appreciate it. But yeah, you Jimmy Clausen ain't coming back. He is not coming back. But yeah, man, the bipolar Panthers, as I like to call them, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, however you want to say it. It's one, 1 week we all the way up, and next week we are in the gutter. Just looking up like why Lord, like why us? You know what I mean? So it's too much inconsistency, way too much inconsistency, and it's showing its head, every other week after every other week. And because if I'm not mistaken, and let's go ahead and get to the next slide, because if I'm not mistaken, but before I do that, I want to talk about Rico for a second. All right. So this was Sheena Marie's clip of him after the game. All right.
Just inconsistent. Been the case the whole year. Just got to find a way to keep going up, not like this.
What are some solutions to that? I mean, just from your perspective.
I don't know. I don't really have an answer right now.
I asked Dave about you only having 6 carries in the game. You got a top 10 rushing offense. Was that by design or?
Hold on, y'all. Look, listen.
You got a top 10 rushing offense.
Hold on, let me go back. Hey, look at his face when Vashta asked him this question. Look at his face.
You only having 6 carries. I asked Dave about you only having 6 carries in the game. You got a top 10 rushing offense.
Look at his eyes.
Was that by design or?
No idea. Yeah, that's just the coaches make their decisions and call the game plan, and we just go with it as players. So.
How you build on this? You got another 10 games.
You just gotta stay positive, get to the next game, try and go 1-0 the next week.
When I tell you, written all over his face. I mean, all over. When she asked him, asked Dave about, top 10 offense, only run. When he did this right here, bro, let me tell you, he was just like don't ask me that, because I can't figure this shit out neither. Yeah. And my thing is this, and I put this on X earlier, and I was like, I shared this very same clip, and I was just like, yo, that is the face of a player who is very frustrated. And I don't think he is the only one who is frustrated in this locker room. And it especially sucks, with Rico, because my thing is this. We might not have to worry so much about if he's going to be a Carolina Panther next year if this keep up. If we keep seeing more interviews like this from him after games, when you go out there and you are, close to get 1,000-yard season and you get 6 carries. You're supposed to be a run first team and you get 6 carries. You know what I mean? So yeah, he did. He did, like he was about 5 seconds away from crashing out. He absolutely did. Absolutely did. Yeah. He said, Dow knows how to fix it. Knows exactly how to fix it, but he's not going to say it. Yeah. Yeah, and let me tell you, and I hate to see this. I really hate to see this. Okay, because this tells me there's something going on in that locker room, and these players do not like it. Okay, and I think with Rico especially this game, it was just like, yo, get me the ball. Okay, 6 carries is just atrocious. All right. From like I said, from a run first team, and like I went through the list here, all the games that we have had 20, 30 carries. Okay. Even in some of the games we haven't, had a whole lot of rushing yards, but you're still letting the defense know, okay, we're going to continue run this route. Okay. One of these might pop off. Or, and the thing, well, I think Rico was averaging like 5 or 6 yards a carry, even with his 6 carries. He busted out that one run for 17 yards. So it's just like, why would you not keep this up? Okay. But yeah, let me tell you, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this now, and this is just my thoughts. It's probably a long shot that Rico was here next year. It was already a long shot. It's probably an even longer shot now, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. So again, this bipolar offense is definitely a factor into Rico's poise and his demeanor during that interview as well. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay. All right. So even after that, okay, and I got the numbers right this time. All right. So we're still second in the NFC South. We are 6-6, and we're still ninth in the NFC. Okay. So we have, let me see, we've had our longest losing streak this season has been 2 games. Our longest win streak has been 3. And so since since the Jets game, okay, it's been win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So, the prevailing theory is, next week will be a win versus the Rams. I highly doubt it. Okay. Highly doubt it. But this is how we stand so far. All right. And in regards to that, I think now there's only one way for the Panthers, if we have any shot at making the playoff. Okay. And that is to win the NFC South. Okay. And right here, I have the Panthers remaining schedule and the Buccaneers remaining schedule as well. Okay. Now, the Buccaneers schedule for them is probably, very favorable for them. All right. The Panthers are going through kind of their gauntlet now, even though, you can see at any point this year we've kind of gone through a gauntlet the way we've played. Okay. But we got the Rams who are vying for the number 1 seed in the NFC. Then we have this Seattle Seahawks, who are no joke. And then we have the Bucks twice, okay, who are currently leading the division, even though we're only half game behind them, but they're still leading our division, and they have a really favorable schedule. And we do have the Saints, who I am not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, we're going to go down to New Orleans and beat the Saints. That is not a given. That is not a given at all whatsoever. And now the injuries that we potentially have on the defensive side of the ball. Okay. You see what they did to our running game the other week when we played them, and we had no answer for them as far as being able to pass the ball and get the ball down the field. So I'm not calling that game a lock in any stretch of the imagination. Okay. Now, what we was talking about earlier, I do we're definitely going to need some help. Okay. Now, if we can somehow split LA and Seattle, I think that would be like the perfect situation. Okay. If we can split LA and Seattle, okay, if we can go down to New Orleans and beat New Orleans and split the Tampa Bay, all right, I think we have a shot. But we would need some help from some of these cats on Tampa schedule at the end. All right. We would definitely need some help from Atlanta, maybe New Orleans. You know what I mean? Hell, maybe the Dolphins. I don't know. We definitely have to help ourselves. Okay, like I said, we at least got to win one of these games. Now, mind you, Baker Mayfield does have a shoulder injury. He was out the second half of the Sunday night game versus the Rams. Teddy Two Gloves played the rest of the game. They said it's his AC joint, if I'm not mistaken. So if there's a chance that he probably will play this Sunday versus the Arizona Cardinals, they said they could put a brace on it. It's his left shoulder, so it's not his throwing shoulder. So there's a certain brace they can put on it and extra padding in his shoulder pads, if he is cleared to play. Okay, but yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and like I said, I stopped predicting games, but I got to do this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 L's up there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 L's up there for LA and Seattle. All right, especially if the injuries that we have persist past this bye week. You know what I mean? And I think that if this plays out like this, the New Orleans game is a must win. One of these Tampa Bay games is a must win, and we'd have to have a lot of help. Papa said, "I hate to be a party pooper. It's overseas. Nah, you're not a party pooper. You're not a party pooper at all. I'm just saying this is my thought on how we could get in. You know, and it's a big a big if. Okay, there's a lot of things that would have to happen for us to even have a shot. You know, at this, a lot of people would have to come back and be healthy. You know, after this bye week. You know what I mean? But this is definitely a long shot. And like I said, we're not catching San Francisco. San Francisco right now, San Francisco and the Lions are ahead of us in the wild card. Okay, we sit at 9. San Francisco is at 8, and Detroit is at 7. Okay, so we would need a lot of help. I do not think that we're going to be able to catch either one of them at all. Okay, like I was saying, for me, this would be our only way in. But again, like I said, I do believe it's a long shot. And you know, if Baker misses any significant amount of time, you know, maybe the Bucks falter, you know, a few times, but then it would still be on us to go out there and do what we need to do to be able to stay with them. But at this point, I don't think it's going to be enough. You know what I mean? If right now I feel like we might have a couple good games in this stretch, and then we're gonna look like how we did Sunday for the rest of them. You know, and I got you, Tyrone. Any given Sunday, trust me, I know. In any given Sunday, we can mess around and win. And any given Sunday, excuse me, we can mess around and look like we did against the 49ers last night. You know, so any given Sunday does go both ways. But I get what you're saying. But like right now, yeah. Atlanta and Miami can beat Tampa. I mean, yeah, but will they is the question. You know what I mean? Will they is the question. All right, let me go back and catch up on some of these comments. Aaron Rodgers already said he will stay with Pittsburgh next season. Yeah, I'm not counting Aaron Rodgers coming down here. Bryce don't have that. You know what? No, he doesn't. No, he absolutely doesn't. Absolutely doesn't. It seems like it, you know, every now and then it's gone, and then you got to wait 6-7 games for it to come back. So, but yeah, okay, that was what I'm talking about. Rico, Dowdle had that face like he ready to lose it. Frustrated is not the word. Pissed off. Yeah, yeah. Team definitely needs to lock in. Why nobody in conference asked Canales tough questions? Well, I mean, it's like punching. It's like knocking your head against a brick wall. You know what's going to happen. You either going to start bleeding or you're going to pass out. You know that's the way it is with Canales. You know they're going to ask questions, and he is going to give the most polite, non-controversial, politically correct answer that he can find or he can come up with. You know what I mean? It's not, he's not one of those guys where you're going to ask him that right question and he's going to say something like, nah, when it comes, let me tell you, when it comes to one thing that Dave is locked in on, it's these interviews. He's going to give you exactly what, you know, he wants you to hear. And that's a wrap. That's a wrap. I think they try to ask him tough questions, you know, but yeah, we'll see. He said they're afraid to lose their job. I see 2 wins, Saints and 1 Bucks finish season at 8 and 9. And I mean, and it would be an improvement from last year, but 8 and 9 would still be for me very disappointing because we had the opportunity to. I think as it sits right now, we're 6 and 6. Okay, we should easily be 8 and 4. You know, possibly 9 and 3. Okay, because I really think that we should have won that Arizona game at the second game of the season. You know, we messed up on the last drive and couldn't complete the comeback. Okay, that's one. All right, we should have got the Saints. Okay, I really do believe they were not a better team than us on that day. Well, they were a better team than us on that day. But going into that game, I really think, you know, if we go up there and win in Green Bay and then come home and lose to the Saints like that, okay, and then this past game with the 49ers, all right, you get 3 turnovers in the first half and cannot muster anything but 3 points. Okay. The defense looked solid. You know, Brock Purdy and the 49ers did not go out there and straight ball out. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, they only got like 200 and what was it? No, 300. Hold on. Let me go back to the first slide here. 340. You know, they got 340. And we have had games we've given up that much and more, you know, and still won. Which is wild, you know, which is absolutely wild. But yeah, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, man, I think that we should possibly have 2 to 3 more wins right now. But it has not worked out that way. All right. Dave Canals would just refuse to answer any question that is difficult. Facts. Let me see. Baker is not going to last to the end of the season because of the same shoulder injury before. Okay, got you. Rams are going to eat us alive. Good thing I have Stafford in fantasy, though. And let me tell you, yeah, oh yeah, you got Matt Stafford in fantasy. Oh, let me tell you, this Panther defense is getting lit all the way up. And I hate to say it, but I'm just being real with the amount of injuries that we have and the lack of pressure that we can get on the quarterback and the amount of talent that the Rams have on this offense is not it's not looking like it's going to be a favorable matchup at all for this Panthers defense. Let me see. Miss Douglas, what's going on? I don't even trust this team to perform well against a backup QB. I mean, hell, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, even though I think that was Tyler Shuck's second start, I mean, hell, you know, but I agree. I agree. Y'all giving up on the season, shaking my head, we win in the South. No, it's not a matter of fact. It's not a fact of giving up on the season. It's taking the things that we have seen so far this season and making a giving a what's the word I'm looking for? You know, making an informed decision, you know, not decision, but an informed analysis of what we think is going to happen in the future. Okay. And then you got to add in the factor of the injuries that we had from the Monday night game. You know what I mean? It was already shaky, you know, before that. All right. We got our linebackers. We were able to win last week without them, you know, but now we going to, you know, like I said, we got the Rams, we got the Bucks twice, we got the Seahawks. Yeah, we missing JC Horn for an extended amount of time. Corey Thornton, who was playing good. You know what I mean? The past 2 games, he's gone. Yeah, yeah. It's not giving up, but it's just like, you know, it's like how many times you gonna sit there and let somebody slap you in the face before you be like, you know what? Stop. I'm good now. You know what I mean? Said no way you think we still got a chance. T Thompson, you still here, man. I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you. Hey, T Thompson told me earlier, he said, I'm only here for you, CJ. Damn this team. Oh goodness. Falcons trying to sneak back in the conversation. And I mean they damn well could. They could, man. Cardinals can absolutely beat Tampa as well. The only easy wins they have are the Saints and possibly Panthers. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. He's a delusional ass fans. NFL is scripted and rigged, so I say yes, Thompson. See, I'm not delusional. Hold on. See, I'm not delusional, period. He always talk about Seahawks. Maybe he should go back there. Oh, Canals, I got you. If we win our division games, we will be in. Let me see, because they got, if we go, we might, yeah. I mean, we might, if we win 3 more games, that will put us at 9 and 8. And let me see. Shoot. Yeah, because if we end up with the same record, we'd have the tiebreaker. They 6 and whatever now, so they lost 2 to us, and then, but they would still need to lose. They would still need to lose another game though. And even if they lost twice to us, I think they still would need to lose one more game. Because if we won the 3 games, like I said, we'd be 9-8. And if they lost to us twice, but then they won, they would be 10. They would be 10, have 10 wins. We'd have 9. Yeah, we definitely need some help when it came to that. We are the middle of the pack team. Tampa is only favored by 3 against Arizona. Let's go Cardinals. I got you. I don't say keep pounding. Poppin said you won't see a chicken run with his head cut off. Wait until you see Bryce go against that Rams D line. Lord have mercy. Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, it's if Icky don't get his act right, he might be doing some running. SC Pace said we beating the Rams Sunday. I hope so, man. QJ, what's going on? When Canales didn't go for it at midfield in that first drive and 4th and 3, knew he was going to be on some bullshit. Man, let me tell you, I feel you on that one because I was damn sure sitting here screaming at TV like, "Come on, Canales! Like, dude, you go for 4th down all the time. You know what I mean? Like this 4th and 3, go ahead and get this 4th down." But yeah, I feel you. Panthers getting 10.5 points. Good luck. Yep. We win in the South. I'm so tired of our weak mindset fans. We will make the playoffs. I mean, and it's not it's not a weak mindset, man. It's just it's frustration, man. It's just frustration because, like I said, you don't know who's going to show up every week. Like I said, if you're a Panthers fan right now and you said we definitely going to do this, we definitely going to do that, you have an undying and unwavering belief, in this team. And I applaud you for that. I really do. But there are a lot of us is just like, yeah, the roller coaster ride we ready to get off. Not necessarily I'm saying, not being fans or anything, but we're ready for the roller coaster ride to stop, going up and down, and we're ready for it to, level out and us to start doing stuff so we can go up instead of doing this where we go up and down, up and down, up and down. So yeah. I don't care if I'm delusional, I'm going down with the ship. I got you, SC Face. I got you. Tyrone said he agreed with QJ. So is it me or was he calling the game scared? I looked at me like he was calling the game scared. I don't know. I don't know. Said I'm so tired of weak players being inconsistent. I got you. Okay, so all right, stock up. Okay. Stock up the entire defense. All right, in this game, I think that was about the only good thing that happened. Stock up to the JC Horn for the 2 interceptions. Hopefully, he can get out concussion protocol safely before this game. Stock up to Mike Jackson. Cinder block hands part 2. Out there with the nice pick in the end zone. Stock up to Mike Jackson. But stock up to the defense as well. I know they gave up the opening drive touchdown. They did have some tackling issues, throughout the entire game. Okay, but I can't, like I said, I can't sit here and say too much about this defense from Monday night's game. Only thing I will say, like I keep saying, I still hate that parking lot defense that Evero likes to play on 3rd down. If you're new to the channel, you know what I'm talking about. When it's 3rd down and short, it could be 3rd down to 2, 3rd down to 3. Our cornerbacks, especially Mike Jackson, is always playing 8, 9, 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Okay, so I'll always say that they be playing way back in the parking lot. All right, so Mike Jackson is usually bailing at the snap of the ball. So when the ball is snapped, he's in the back pedal from the start. So it's 3rd down and 3. By the time the QB throws the ball, the receiver is at the sticks, and Mike Jackson is just now trying to catch up. The ball is already caught. The receiver has the 1st down, and this dude is trying to catch up. And I'm not saying, and I know a lot of people, and I agree, Evero does this because Mike Jack will get burnt, and I'm not saying have Mike Jack up in his face, press coverage every play, but some adjustments to that, would be a welcome change for me. All right. But yeah, but the defense as a whole, stock up for the way they played last night. They gave us every opportunity to try and get ahead of I almost said Tampa Bay, to get ahead of San Francisco last night, and we did not take advantage of it at all. At all. Stock down. All right. The offense. Okay. The offense, the wide receivers, I'm not gonna say the running backs because I don't think they were. We didn't give them a chance to a decent chance to see what they could do against this defense. Stock down to the offensive line. They had some moments in this game, especially Icky. Okay, did not have a good night last night. Stock down to Bryce Young for throwing that damn interception. Stock down to whatever was, if it was him or it was the wide receiver, they got intentional grounding call on one of them plays, and then they did it again in the second half. He's throwing to absolutely nobody. I don't know if he checked the total receiver what play to run or what the miscommunication was, on that. But stock down for him locking in on his receivers again. Looking like he's not going through his progressions. Stock down to the Dave Canales and his play calling. He like Miss Douglas said, it looked like he was calling the game scared. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, just stock down in general, man. Stock down to the to the hope, to the anticipation that we got last week. Looking forward to this week against the 49ers. You know what I mean? Stock down to that as well, because that was all just a pipe dream. All right. QJ said last year we were 3-9, and this time last year our team has here and it's not good. We haven't peaked to our full potential yet. I agree. I agree. I feel that we haven't peaked to our full potential, but the issue is, are we going to get there? You get what I'm saying? I think we have, if you want to talk in, like in the horsepower, car terms, I think we got the vehicle. Okay. But right now we're down. If we got a V8, we down 6 cylinders right now. It's especially on this offensive side of the ball. You get all 8 running in one game, and then you lose 6 of them the next game, and that's what we've been on lately. Ever since what was that week? I forgot what week it was against the the Jets. It's this and this. We up down, up down, up down. Yeah, but I mean, hey, like I said, I agree. I think there's potential in this team, but will we ever see it right now is a serious question. So, but yeah. All of this stock down sounds like a recession. Hey, it feels like one too. It feels like one. Yeah. Said, yeah, man. Sometimes I think Canal is so troll. Don't do Dave like that. Don't do Dave like that. All right, y'all. So like I said, I wasn't gonna hold y'all too long, even though I did sit up here and blab for almost 2 hours. But yeah, okay. But had a lot to get off my chest here. Like I said, bad outing for the Panthers. It was a lot of hope, a lot of anticipation for this game. I do think that we really, played ourselves in this game. I think we had a shot. I think we had several shots, to be able to get this game close, possibly take the lead. Our defense, Brock Purdy tried to give us the game in the first half. Absolutely tried to give us the game. And we said, nah, we good. They said, like I said earlier, nah, we want to do this the hard way. Okay. It's like, you won't believe me when I tell you. You won't find out the hard way. And Caroline was like, yeah, we want to try this the hard way. And it didn't work out for him. Didn't work out for him. Don't know what it's going to be this coming up week with the Rams. And also for everybody that is watching, I still have 2 tickets for the Rams game. All right. So we've got 2 ways to enter. If you want to join the Armchair GM membership tier here on the YouTube channel, you can do that. You'll be automatically entered. Or if you want to just shoot me $10 to the Cash App, it's at the Armchair GM CJ. Okay, and that will enter you for a chance to win 2 tickets to the game. Okay, and the drawing will be this Saturday when I do the preview. Okay, so the drawing will be Saturday when I do the preview. I want to make sure I let everybody know that. I almost forgot. Okay, make sure I let everybody know that now. So it won't be a last minute type deal. Okay. But like the title right here says, Primetime was too much for the Panthers. Okay. This season of, bipolarism, this season of, the Jekyll and Hyde behavior, the ups, the downs. It's yeah, man. It's a terrible ride, dog. It's a terrible ride right now. And we saw a little bit of time where we had a 3-game win streak. Okay, we got above 500 for the first time since 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2022 or 2021, whichever one it was. But then we've gone back to just, we up one week, we down the next. We up 1 week, we down the next. And it's just, as a Panther fan, it's frustrating. It's aggravating. It's annoying. And like QJ said, I don't believe that we have seen the full potential of this team. But are we going to see the full potential of this team the way it is configured right now? Okay. I do believe that there are some changes that are needed. I believe there's some changes that are coming. And whatever will benefit this team, I am all for it. So let me put that out there for the record. Whatever changes need to happen, I'm all for it. But, I'm not going to sit here and try to speculate, what these changes are going to be. Okay. I got my idea of what changes need to be made, but I can't sit here and be like, well, this is definitely going to, help, blah, 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 blah. That's up to the coaching staff and whatever they see and however they draft. Okay. 2021. Thank you, Tyrone. Appreciate it. Said next year is it ASAP. I hope. Yeah. Okay. All right. Again, y'all, I appreciate y'all for joining me. And I apologize. I know I said I was gonna get y'all out of here real quick. Didn't happen, but I thank you for sticking around. Hey, T Thompson, you still in the chat, man? You still in the chat, man? Holla at me. Like I said, T Thompson. First thing, I ain't here for these Panthers. I'm only here for you, CJ. I appreciate you, T Thompson. If you still here, dog, thank you for and thank you for everybody else who is 2 hours later. Yes, I know. There we go. Hey, appreciate you, T Thompson. Appreciate you. Thank you, man. Hey, look, that's 2 hours later. I know. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody. Thank you for all the support. Okay. As always, you can catch me at Armchair GMCJ on all social media. I appreciate the love and support. Again, if you're on your way out and you haven't already, whatever platform you're watching on, like, follow, subscribe, and I greatly appreciate all the love and support. Hey, you have a good night too, T Thompson, and everybody else. Y'all have a good night. And as always, I'm gonna leave y'all with 3 things. Number 1, be good. Number 2, be safe. And number 3, through all the inconsistency, through all the ups and downs, through all the trials and tribulations, all right, everything that's going on with this Panther team, y'all, hey, keep pounding, man. I'll see you.